Welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk about the issue of a gun, George Zimmerman, the Trayvon Martin case, and an auction in just a moment. But first, before the break, I was asking for women specifically to call in and talk about the new ad that we are talking about today. This is a super PAC ad from Hillary Clinton that is taking an attack shot at Donald Trump. Before we go to the lady on the line here, and I want to get her comments on this, to remind you, here's the ad.
You know, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever. Does she have a good body? No. Does she have a fat ass? Absolutely.
You like girls that are 5'1", they come up to you know where.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
I view a person who's flat-chested is very hard to be a 10.
And you can tell them to go themselves.
Does Donald Trump really speak for you? Priorities USA Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Now, I asked for a female to comment on this. Renee in Thompson, Georgia is on the line here on the Hard Line. Renee, thanks for joining us. Let me ask right up front, first of all, are you a Republican and are you a Donald Trump voter?
No, actually, I voted for Cruz, but I'll vote for Donald Trump, too.
Okay, so you will vote for Donald Trump. What is your reaction to that ad? Don't talk about anything else with regard to Democrats or anybody else. What's your reaction as a female?
Well, I basically like the way that he tells it like it is on everything. And the fact that they're just singling this out is, once again, their little old war on women that they're going to try to push through again.
I get that, Renee, but I got to stop you because you're going a little off here. I want to know what your visceral reaction is to seeing women mouth the words that Donald Trump uses about women. Your reaction as a woman.
It's a little bit concocted to me.
No. What? Okay, the ad may be no, tell me your reaction.
My reaction, I laughed at it.
Okay, there. You thought it was funny. You don't think it's any big deal. You will still vote for Donald Trump. It won't change anything that you've decided.
No, not at all.
Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. I want to find out exactly from women what they think about that. Renee, thanks a lot for being with us. We appreciate it. I'm sure we'll talk to you again about something else down the road. All right, we're going to continue to address this here as the week goes on. Trust me, this won't go away. There's something else that won't go away that we need to discuss here. And again, we're going to try and grab a couple of minutes here to get your comments on this. When word first came out recently that George Zimmerman was going to auction off the handgun that he used to kill Trayvon Martin in what was adjudicated to be self-defense in 2012, the reaction swift right down the line. Those who felt that as his personal property and as it was returned to him by authorities, he legally has the right to do with the weapon whatever he chooses. And those who found it distasteful and insulting in seeking to profit from the death of an unarmed kid. You choose your side, you take it from there. We're going to get your opinions on this auction in a moment. Do you find it distasteful, insulting, or no big deal? And I'm going to ask you to explain yourself quickly, succinctly. Get on the lines now on this question at 1-877-NEWSMAX. 1-877-NEWSMAX. Here we go. First, more about the auction from the man who runs the website UnitedGunGroup.com, hosted the auction, which began at 9 this morning. Welcome to the Hardline, founder and president of the United Gun Group, Todd Underwood. Todd, thanks so much for joining us. Let me ask you, this started at 9 o'clock this morning. What's the latest bid?
The latest bid, I think, right now is about $125,000 of verified funds.
When you say verified thumbs, so how are you verifying that these are not? Because I understand there were a couple of things out there earlier today, like maybe Kendrick Lamar had purchased the gun or threw out some kind of an ad. How are you verifying?
Well, actually, we are not verifying. We are allowing George Zimmer to verify all of this. He put his personal email address on there, his contact information. He has told me that he has verified funds of up to over $100,000 on this gun thus far.
All right. Now, the question, of course, Todd, you're a businessman. You put this up. Why do it?
Well, first, let me explain. This is more of a hobbyist website to me, and this was in a response to, in February, Facebook decided to start dictating the morality to their members and telling them when and where their constitutional rights began. A couple friends and I, we threw up a website to allow people to exercise their constitutional rights to where if they wanted to engage in buying, selling, or trading firearms, so be it. That's what we do.
What about those people? And I know that you've probably heard this before, and there's people who are going to come out of the woodwork, and they're going to say that this gun, because of what it is, should not be sold. And you know that even though you really have no opinion on this one way or another, you're a businessman doing this, they know they're going to talk to you, and they're going to say, how could you do this?
Well, I mean, it's real simple. I took my personal opinion completely out of the equation. UnitedGunGroup.com was founded under the principle of individual liberty, the Constitution of the United States, and we're going to stand firm for the Second Amendment. We are not going to dictate to our members morality and tell them when and where their constitutional rights begin or end. We are staying completely out of it. And I would think that society should embrace that idea that we're not putting our subjective views on the situation and telling people what they can and can't do. We're allowing people to make their own choices as adults. Everybody's allowed to do that.
You do understand, though, how there could be some people out there who would find this distasteful.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the beauty of the Constitution. You can have any opinion you want.
Now, there's an article in Politico on how the NRA keeps what they call killer guns on the market. Points out that thousands of Americans buy used guns every year legally with no idea those weapons were used to take someone's life. They're saying that it's the NRA pushing this forward and that their agenda is in there and that, quite frankly, this is something that, according to Politico and others, should just be stopped. But you feel that this is just something that, just business.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even say it's just business. I would say it's just people's constitutional rights. What right does Facebook have to dictate to their members where their constitutional rights begin or end? How is that responsibility put on Mark Zuckerberg or the executives at Facebook? All we're doing is we created a website because I'm a firearms enthusiast. We created a website so my friends and they could have their friends, and we could get a large community of people that support the Second Amendment. We could get them together and have a place where we could buy, sell, trade, discuss, and pretty much do what we're allowed to do by law.
We get the side of that you're pointing out with Second Amendment. What about the historical value? You're a gun enthusiast. Do you really think that there is an historical value to this weapon?
You know, in my personal opinion, absolutely not. But then again, when you look at the list of how many famous firearms have been sold, Time Magazine just did an article. For example, did you realize the gun that shot and killed Lincoln, and I realize Lincoln is a president, but the gun that shot and killed Lincoln is on display, and they dug the slugs out of his head, and the slugs are on display right next to the gun in the Lincoln Library. There have been numerous guns throughout the years that have been famous by criminals, by other individuals, and I'm not saying George Zimmerman's a criminal. I'm just saying this isn't new to American culture that a firearm was used to end somebody's life, and now because of that, it has some notoriety behind it, and there are collectors of things like that.
I'm interested, Todd. Have you been threatened, or have you received any threats from anybody about your hosting this or being involved in this?
You know, you have the usual people that sit back and want to throw out harassments on Facebook or Twitter and stuff like that. And you know, it's unfortunate that the people that are telling me how distasteful I am are the same people that are posting on Twitter they hope my 2-year-old daughter dies of cancer.
So wait a minute, you've had people who fired back to you at gunbroker.com and they said because you're doing this, they hope your daughter dies of cancer.
No, people from Gunbroker didn't say that. People on Twitter have said, I hope your daughter dies of cancer.
Specifically because of what you're doing here?
Yes, that shows you the rationale that somebody like that thinks.
Whether you agree with it or not, it's despicable for anybody to take a child and put a child involved in this. This is somebody, quite frankly, who hopefully is basically someone who suffers. Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to go any further because, quite frankly, I cannot stand these kind of people. I find them abhorrent, and I find it despicable that they would do something like that. But certainly, you are allowed to do what you're doing right now at gunbroker.com, and the auction goes on until when?
No, it's UnitedGunGroup.com.
Okay.
Gunbroker turned the auction down for whatever reason. They decided to turn it down. It's on UnitedGunGroup.com. It's currently running right now. And to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to closing this chapter and moving on to the next thing.
I apologize for getting the website wrong. You're right. It's UnitedGunGroup.com is where it is right now. Todd Underwood, I appreciate your comments. I want to thank you so much for joining us. And please, I hope your daughter and your family stay very safe. All right. 1-877 Newsmax. I understand we got a couple of callers on the line on this. We've only got about a minute to go here. So let's go to Janice from South Lake, Texas. Janice, quickly, 30 seconds, your comment.
Well, I own my own gun, and if I shot someone, I would want the police to destroy it because I wouldn't want to use that gun again. I'd go get another one.
So you think it's wrong to sell the gun to auction it off?
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate your comments, Jen. Thank you very much. Tom from Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Tom, I think you have a different opinion.
Yes, I do. I like your show. It's great. But I think the man was found innocent, It's his property. He should be able to do whatever he wants to do with it.
Well,
I don't think there's any intrinsic value in the gun, but it's his right to do what he wants with it.
Are you a gun collector?
Yes, I am.
Would you want to own this kind of a gun?
No, I have no value in a gun like that. Some other guns, yes, that have history behind them. But this here is, I think, a kind of a situation where it wasn't really a great situation, so the gun itself really has no value.
All right, I appreciate it. Tom, thank you very much for your time and for your calling in. UnitedGunGroup.com is the website that is once again putting this up. Tom Underwood is there. I'm very rarely speechless, but when I hear that somebody threatens a child because of something like this that a man is doing that is completely legal, that is a despicable scum of the earth, quite frankly. We'll continue with the political animal next on The Hardline.